The helmet in my hand is very, very light. So a couple months ago, we did a video about the safest helmets you can buy right now based on the Virginia Tech and the NFL's independent helmet rating studies. Well, the biggest caveat in that video was the fact that there was two helmets that you can buy right now, but were not actually available to the public. One of them being the LIGHT Gladiator ATK and the Zenith Orbit Pro. And the issue is they were super highly rated by these studies, but we didn't know anything about them. They weren't out yet. We just had not a lot of information to work with. Well, today that is going to change for at least one of those two, as we have the LIGHT Gladiator ATK being tested around the NFL training camps right now. Shout out to Light Helmets for getting us this so quick. And if you're curious, the first thing I did when I pulled this out of the package, threw a shock visor on it. With Light Helmets' new Gladiator ATK model, they basically changed 3 different things on this from some of their old models, which helped skyrocket up the rankings this year. And honestly, the third one is my favorite by far. So the first one is going to be this 3D printed lattice material on the inside. Before, they had like this foam that a lot of people call the bike helmet, and although they said that this was the same foam used by the military, it's super safe, it's really good at what it does, people just did not buy it. So they've switched over to this 3D lattice technology. And the reason I'm talking about this one first is it's really not that exciting. Everyone is doing a 3D printed lattice now, and my goal is not to diminish the compliments of them for figuring out how to make their own lattice, but it's just really popular, so it's not like groundbreaking technology. Having said that, the innovation that goes into a 3D printed lattice is insane. It's super cool because it can be tested, tweaked, and tuned, do all these crazy things too, and just 3D print a new one, test it out, and go. So from a manufacturing perspective and a customization perspective, it's really cool. To put it in simple terms, they can make a different 3D printed lattice for every single position on the field based on their most common hits to the head and the speed of those impacts. Really cool. Now it is really cool, but like I said, Zenith has this now, Riddell's had this for a really long time with their diamond technology, so it is cool, but just not unique. The second one is the shell. So it seems like the shell is the next material that people are doing a lot of change and innovation to. Vices was the first company to come in with like a completely different shell material where it absorbed impact and was a little different. Riddell still uses a standard polycarbonate, although just from the feel, I can't really tell a lot of difference between this material and that material just by knocking on it. So it's this nylon material that Light has said is like regulates better temperatures and absorbs impacts better and does all this stuff. But frankly, I just don't have a lot of information about how it actually works. But that is going to be the next big thing, is this nylon shell. We'll see if more people use it. But in this green, look how pretty this thing is. What a pretty looking helmet. All right, finally the one I am excited for, and that is going to be the face mask. Now Light has talked about with their helmets that you can get face masks in 3 different materials: titanium, stainless steel, and chromoly tube. Titanium and stainless steel are not new. They're super lightweight. They've always been really expensive add-ons to helmets that you can always get, and they are proven. But the third one is the one I'm the most excited for, and that is going to be the chromoly tube. Now I don't think mine is chromoly tube, and I'll show you why in a second. Now if you remember about 10 years ago, there was a company called Guard Art, and Guard Art made these face masks that were really cool looking, and essentially they were the first ones to use chromoly tube. And the biggest things when they were talking about this chromoly tube technology was it's used by NASCAR, and it's this one-piece welded thing where they fit it in these molds and there's no seams to it, so it makes it super strong. There's no weld joints, there's nothing to it. NASCAR has used it for a really long time in the structure of their vehicles to make it really strong and lightweight, and it seemed like a really cool idea to adapt that to face masks. And one of the dead giveaways for the chromoly tubing is you can see there's 0 seams on this thing. It is all one piece, no welds, no overlap, nothing. So the upside of this chromoly tubing is it's incredibly strong, it's incredibly lightweight. The downside, it's a really expensive option, just like titanium and just like stainless steel. And that's probably why Guard Art disappeared, as they were just too expensive of a face mask to create. But Light has a little bit of money in the bank, and now they're able to bring back that chromoly tube, and that is an option I am super excited for. I really think it's going to be part of the next phase of helmets. We'll be switching off steel face masks altogether and going to a material like that. It's a place you just don't need weight. The face mask has a ton of unnecessary weight that I think everyone's going to try and get rid of. Today's video is sponsored by Prolific Sports Labs and the makers of the NXT FootGuard 2.0. Now, we already made a video about the FootGuard 2.0, so if you want to learn more about this product, definitely check that out first. Getting your foot stepped on by teammates in practice absolutely sucks. I was a lineman for 10 years and I lost 6 toenails from guys just stepping on my feet in practice. And foot injuries are super common in all positions across football, but especially linemen. Well, this is the NXT FootGuard 2.0, and it aims to solve that problem. It's a high-quality product made of 2 carbon fiber plates sandwiched between a nice cushiony foam against your foot and a thick, dense foam on the top that helps absorb the impact from cleats. The NXT FootGuard 2.0 uses 2 straps, one around your heel and one underneath your arch, to secure this plate to any type of cleat. It works with skill cleats, high top cleats, and mid top cleats. It comes in white and black and multiple different sizes depending on what size cleats you have. When it gets dirty, just pop the pad out, make sure to hand wash it, air dry it, pop the pad back in, and you're good to go. There's no reason to risk foot injuries in practice, and that's why you should check out the NXT FootGuard 2.0. To learn more, you can watch our full video where we explain more, or just check out the links in the description down below for Prolific Sports Labs website. All right, back to the video. Now let's talk about on-head impressions. So the first time I picked it up, it actually didn't feel that much lighter than my F7. It felt like a little bit, but not much. The big difference though, is when you actually put it on your head. And chin strap's a little tight. We're just gonna do that so it's easier to talk. This thing feels like the lightest football helmet I've ever worn. It feels lighter than a Speed, it's lighter than my F7, and it's definitely lighter than my Speed Flex. It's honestly, out of the box without having to do any changes to it, it is incredibly comfortable to wear. What do you think? How do we like this thing, huh? I think it's pretty dope. Now looking at it, the one thing you gotta get used to is it's wide. I don't know if they're trying to add more padding on here because this is like a point of impact, but it is a very wide looking face mask from the front where like the Riddell Speed Flex is known for a really slim look. So it's something you gotta get used to, but out of the box, I thought it looked crazy weird, but now I'm actually pretty used to it. And I threw my shock visor on it and it pretty much completed the look of this helmet. I don't know, what do you guys think? Is it the vibe or no? Next thing we're going to talk about is how much does this thing actually weigh? Now I made sure most of my helmets were equipped with a lot of the exact same accessories and brands on here to make sure it's an even test as we can be. So all of my helmets have Sportster chin straps and shock visors. The Light helmet weighed in at 4 pounds 2 ounces. The Riddell Speed Flex weighed in at 4 pounds 13 ounces. The F7 was 4 pounds 11 ounces. And my Visus was 4 pounds 8 ounces. So this is the lightest helmet by far, and it better be with the name Light. All right. Last thing we got to talk about, is this thing going to catch on and will it actually make it to market? They sent me one of these as I'm pretty sure a pre-production model, so I don't think this is one of the ones you can actually buy off the shelf. And the reason I think that is because when you look at a lot of the 3D printing on here, you can still see the 3D printing lines in here. So I think they're going for something a little quicker as far as prototyping goes and not something that you'll actually be able to buy. Real production models, you won't be able to see these 3D printing lines, I think. The go-to-market problem. The go-to-market problem is it's essentially a chicken and an egg situation. These are being used by some guys across the NFL right now in testing during training camp. Now the problem with that is it doesn't actually tell you if these guys are going to be wearing it during the season. Helmet companies all the time will promote that Alvin Kamara is switching to the Light helmet, Saquon Barkley is switching to the Shed F7 from the Speed Flex, or whoever it's going to be. But the reality is when the season starts, they go back to what they know. They were just testing something new in training camp and it didn't seem to work out. So at this point, all we have is training camp photos of the Light helmet and we don't know who's actually going to be wearing it and bringing it into the season with them. Now the problem with that is if NFL guys don't wear it, it will never be purchased by anyone at the lower levels of football. You want to see your favorite player in the helmet that you want to wear. And so if the Light helmet does not succeed in the NFL, it probably won't succeed in the lower levels of football unless they get that price point way down to like $200 where it's just an easy pickup and a really safe option. And essentially that's the challenge with this. In order to go to market, you need money, but in order to get the money, you need buy-in from the NFL players. All Light helmet needs to focus on is getting NFL guys in this helmet and the rest will take care of itself. Normally how it works. So, like I said, I don't know if this helmet will ever come out, but the bottom line is I hope it does come out for a couple reasons. Bottom line, I love helmets. I love helmets. I love making videos about helmets. Helmet videos always do great on our channel, so of course I would love if this helmet comes out. Number two, even if you hate this helmet, you hate everything about this helmet, you better hope it comes out as well, because the more competitors there are on the market, the more it pushes companies like Riddell, Schutt, Visus, Zenith, everyone out there to bring their A game. So more competition is better, and that's why I hope the Light helmet succeeds. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Leave me questions about the ATK down below. Peace.